their pets secretly going through a diet issue which we could not find out?
Feeding your food, feeding table scrap. So there are certain foods is a complete no.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Why does my dog eat grass?
Dogs and animals in general are sentient beings. All their four paws are always on the ground. They are extremely grounded and connected with the earth energy.
Big question. Why do dogs eat their own or other animal poops?
What we eat is what we poop.
Dog can go vegan. Rice versus roti, which is better?
If you're giving rice, I would suggest give brown rice. In terms of roti, once a week is okay. Better options are barley. 7 days, not the same food.
Brown egg, farm egg, stress-free egg, white egg.
Honestly, brown or white, there is no difference.
Hello, welcome to Let's Off Leash, the world's first animal podcast where we dive into animals' life and that matters. Today, a very special episode because one of my favorite guests is repeated. This podcast is also very important because we're going to empower, educate pet parents and will try to convey cruelty-free world. This is your host Kasturi Jha and we are thrilled to join us. Thank you. And today we have a very special guest. I'll tell you the name. Guess who? You got it right. Pluto's mom, but today she is in another role. Yeah, Shameen. Today we have a holistic pet mom, a pet entrepreneur. Yeah, pet entrepreneur because pet industry is growing like anything with good ways. So I have a list for her. Shameen Pateli is a certified animal neuropath and canine nutritionist with a specialty in dog nutrigenics. As the founder of Holistic Pets, she advocates for mindful pet parenting and holistic approach to pet care. She is currently studying for a Bachelor of Science in Neuropath Animal Science. Shameen is also a dog mom whose name is Pluto. We all know. We love you, Pluto. And conduct webinar, try to educate many pet parents. Not only she stop over there, she has helped pets with weight loss, manage pet with seizure and cancer, build stronger immune system and have healthy eating habits. We will not waste more time. This episode is going to be very productive, very informative. Grab your furry, feathered or scaly friend. Sit back. If you wish, you can take your pen and paper. And we start now. Welcome back, Shameen. How are you? And thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you so much, Kasturi, for having me once again on Let's Off Leash. It's always amazing to be here, and thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
And we have to do it because Holistic Pet is something you already working for this project.
Yes.
And we are interested to know all about this because it's about spiritual awakening. It's about living healthy, eating healthy. What goes for the human, it's same for the animal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Clean eating.
Clean living, clean eating.
Yes. So there is a first very most question from my end, that is their pet secretly going through a diet issue which we could not find out?
Well, there is no secret because when your pet is going through an issue in terms of intolerances or allergies, it will show. But there is a difference. When it's an allergy, it is an instant reaction. So you see it happening right there. Like if you were to have maybe shrimps and you cannot take seafood, you will flare up, your skin will flare up. That's an instant allergic reaction. But intolerances kind of grow. They kind of start growing inwards. They take time. Once the body says, that's enough, I need to throw this out, that's when you see it on the skin. So when intolerance happens, it's happening secretly, superficially, under the skin, under the gut and everything. when it's time for the body that it cannot take anymore, it starts showing signs on the outwards.
It's interesting. And when we go deep dive into dog's part, there is a debate, there is many questions going around, and you will be the better person to answer this, that dogs are carnivore, omnivore, herbivore, what?
There's so much of debate going on because we ourselves don't know what we are anymore, right? People are going vegan, great. But we have to understand one thing. As we have evolved, we as primitive people, until we didn't find fire, the source of fire, obviously we were agriculture. And even today, we are still agricultural based, right? So plant matter, berries, fruits, that's what we consume. Primarily we consume that, and we are then carnivores. So we are primarily, herbivores. We consume carnivores, that's why we become omnivores. Dogs also, when you people start just going back to, ancestors, you won't get a wolf in the house. Wolves were never domesticated. Dogs were. So even their co-evolution with us, when it took place, they started eating everything we ate, right? So today, yes, dogs are primarily carnivores. That's why you need to feed them meat protein, because their main protein source is meat. But that doesn't mean they cannot have carbohydrates, starches, leafy vegetables, fruits. They can, because they have the ability to digest that as well because of their evolution while living with us.
Yeah.
So I would say they are omnivores. They can eat both, but their primary source must be in terms of meat, because that protein is very different from plant protein.
Absolutely. But somehow, maybe many of them will disagree, but somehow I do not think dog can go vegan. It's difficult for their nutrition.
See, it's something that I am aware that there are certain dogs who can't take meat, right? For many reasons. Like if a dog is having issues with the liver, obviously red meat cannot be the source of protein at all.
Yeah.
It has to be white meat or dairy products that they get their protein from. Similarly, some dogs may not be able to take any kind of meat. Sometimes it's there. It's 1 in a million. But like our bodies are unpredictable, animals' bodies are also unpredictable, given the fact that the breeding, the way it happens, so many genetic issues come in. So when the dog has to eat something, right? And if the dog is thriving on vegan, fair enough. But that doesn't mean every dog should be vegan.
And it's like a pressure. We cannot do that.
Exactly. I mean, today there are a lot of food trends that happen. And also what happens is that people have this tendency of judging. Oh, you're giving vegan. Oh, you're giving raw meat. It doesn't matter as long as your fur child is clean, healthy, skin and coat is shiny. You've taken care of the organ health in terms of kidney, heart, liver, pancreas. These are your main organs. You've taken care of the cognitive function, and you're taking care, most importantly, of their weight. If their body score condition is perfect, I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Correct. And absolutely, I buy this point and I believe this point, because the thing what you are saying, I am with that thing only. My mental preparation was this only.
Right.
So how did you come up with holistic pet? Holistic pet. How did you spell that? HOW?
It's holistic,
Holistic pets.
because wanted to be different.
Yeah.
And the reason I came up is only because of Pluto. When he came to us, he had skin issues, a lot of skin, flaky skin, dull coat, and especially his tummy was absolutely sensitive to everything and anything. So tried kibble, because obviously we're new pet parents. So we tried kibble, still not happening. We used to rush to vets like every month.
Correct.
Finally, I was like, no, let me do research. I researched kibble. I said, what is it what is there in this chicken that is causing these intolerances? And I went ahead, went through a lot of brands, I started digging into the ingredients, understanding ingredients. Finally, when I changed him to one brand, it suited him very much. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted him to transition to normal home cooked good meals. But I know it's for every pet parent, you are scared of the loose motions,
Yes.
right? And you're not sure what do I feed. But it so happened that one day I got called in to see this poor baby who was suffering from cancer.
Oh.
I got his pictures. It took me 24 hours to regain my mental stability.
And where did you find that?
They contacted me
Okay.
and they sent me pictures, and I was just, I couldn't say anything. I just kept looking at that picture, and my daughter's like, Mom, it's okay. You have to detach because you will find these, kids like this.
Yes.
And it took me 24 hours to get over it. And finally, I gave them a call. I said, what do you feed? First thing. I mean, he's 14 years old, so he's lived a good life. But
Still.
cancer is not something that happens with age. It shouldn't.
it
Okay.
shouldn't, yeah.
And I was told he's fussy, one type of kibble throughout his life. And that's the day I decided loose motions are fine by me. I will clean up 24/7. But my boy needs to go off the kibble. And that's how I started. I mean, luckily, Pluto did very well. Today, Pluto, I introduced a lot of new foods to him on a very small basis, slowly. Touch wood. His poop has never been amazing in terms of consistency, in terms of the amount. He does not have anal gland issues, which he used to have earlier. His anal glands used to get infected and bleed because his stools were always very soft. He doesn't have that issue. His skin is as clear as it can be. And I always maintain his weight. And that's how Holistic Pets came about. That I realized in 3 days of changing his diet, if this is what happens to my boy, it can happen to any pet, and
pet.
any pet can transform in a week's time.
And this poop and all these things are the alarm for us to get it checked. And even for the babies also, Pedia says, do not follow our particular diet or do not follow a regular thing because it will adopt his or her body. Same for the pets. Try to keep them changing because even you are traveling with the pets or something kind of, there will be weather change, there will be food change, many things can happen. Even maybe the quality of food you are getting, not getting. The quantity is not available in the market. You can get all this stuff. So if we stick into simple one food, it's very difficult for us and for them also that their body will get too attached with that.
Intolerances happen.
Yes.
So whether it is meats, whether it is your carbs, your starches, your fats, your vegetables and fruits, all need to be on a rotational,
Correct.
on a weekly basis. That means 7 days, not the same food.
Correct. Absolutely, I agree with this. And this is the way how we can improve the immunity.
Oh, yes.
So, till now, you must be having so many pet parents. Before that, any new pet parents wanted to know before taking pet or after taking pet any problem, come down to Let's Off Leash YouTube channel or any social media channel, and you can also come down to Holistic Pet fully activated now. So do not Google first because sometime you will Google, you will get 10 other things. But if you'll come platform like us, a very go-to place, you will get everything in details, everything in segment wise, whatever you wanted to pick it up and go for the right solutions.
But I will still want to say one thing. Every pet parent, no matter who you are, you've been into holistic therapies or not, the first protocol of a pet parent, should anything happen to your pet, is not me or professionals like me. Your first protocol has to be your veterinarian.
Absolutely.
Because what happens is we are not veterinarians. We manage and prevent. So we are into the management and prevention and boosting the immunity. But when your pet is sick, you can't come to me because your pet needs immediate
Medicine.
attention.
Yeah.
Once the pet has come out of it, then I can manage and prevent anything to happen further.
Absolutely.
So that's what people need to understand, that you have to, your protocol should be a veterinarian. Even if any nutritionist or holistic therapist
Absolutely.
is giving you an option, run it by your vet. Not a problem. Take the opinion, then make your decision.
So now we find out that nutrigenomic for dogs. So it related to like many things, which a layman, a common man, it's not possible to know. So as a holistic, I'll tell you, teacher.
All right, it's
What
very
is it?
simple.
Yeah.
Nutrigenomics is nothing but how nutrition helps your genetics to become better. So, in very simple words, we all have a DNA. We are made of genetics, right? A Chihuahua does not change into a Husky. That's your genetics. That's your DNA. Now, there is another genetic covering that covers your DNA, which is called the epigenome,
Okay.
which is above your genome.
Okay.
That can be changed, and that changes on a 24/7 level. What you eat, what you breathe, what you drink, the chemicals, all of that kind of triggers your epigenome to make changes. Your eye color will never change with food, but the covering of your genome, which is your epigenome, will change with what you put inside your system. And
Okay.
that is what we want to change through nutrition, through holistic therapies. The part of the genome that can be changed, it can be changed to better or worse. It's like an on and off switch. So when you do not take in healthy food, or you take in chemicals, you take in medication, your epigenome kind of, the good ones switch off. We want to switch on the good ones. So that's when we change the nutrition, we change the diet, we reduce the amount of medication, all of those things.
So this come like it will cover that joints, tummy,
Everything.
skin coat.
Everything.
Like these are the main parts of dogs, like heart, immunity,
Yes.
allergies, what you already told.
Yes.
So this all cover all these
This
things.
is governed by your epigenome.
So for these supplements are better. What you like refer or you
See,
are
supplementation is very important because home cooked food, because you're not giving raw, you are doing a kill step by boiling or baking or steaming, right? Nutrients are lost. So supplementation is important, especially after the dog is 1 year old. So your main supplementations, I would say, is health, joint health, your immune system, your tummy, so probiotics, prebiotics, and your skin. But one thing is very important that people should know: when you're giving a home cooked meal, there is one deficiency which will always come in and which one needs to fulfill, which is calcium.
yeah, for the bone.
Calcium is very important. Animals need a high amount of calcium, and that is one deficiency we see in pets who are fed home cooked food. So if you take care of that calcium, rest will fall in place with the other nutrients, and supplements. And calcium is not very difficult to supplement for. Eggshells.
Correct.
They are the best source of calcium you can give at home. Clean up the eggshells, dry them up, powder them up, and keep it in an airtight container.
But it's good for them.
It's a primary source of calcium. So if
Amazing.
you don't need to buy calcium tablets and all that stuff, you can have this powder ready at hand and you can use it.
So like
Sprinkle it on the food on a daily basis.
so when you say eggshells, then I got trigger up one question. That eggs nowadays, this is also a fascination, maybe a trend going on. That brown egg, farm egg, stress-free egg, white egg, this egg, that egg. We know only one egg having yellow yolk. So which egg is good for dog? Because they are egg masters.
Honestly, brown or white, nutritionally, they are no different.
Okay.
There is no difference.
Okay.
Brown and white are determined by the breed of the chicken. If you see a brown feathered chicken, will give a brown egg. And a white feathered chicken will give a white egg. unless like today when you see your milk cans, they say new milk fortified with vitamin D, right? So even in eggs, if they are fortified with an additional omega-3, that's the only nutritional difference. But naturally, both eggs are
Same.
nutritionally identical.
So, like, because egg is entire thing is like so important. Like
Absolutely.
the protein, the vitamin, the calcium, everything is full of like give egg. Like they can have 2 eggs, 3 eggs kind of, or 1 egg a day.
I would say 1 egg a day.
It depends upon the weather also, I believe, because it's
It's okay. I mean, weather is not such a serious issue. You could give eggs on a daily, or at least, skip a day. So give alternatively. Give different preparations of eggs. You can give boiled egg or half-boiled egg.
omelette.
You can make an omelette. You can make scrambled eggs. But just make sure you use less of oil, because the fat cannot be more. So cook it in maybe coconut oil, olive oil.
Simple. It's better to
Right.
give simple.
Very, very simple. I mean, you can put in some veggies in that. And that's
So veggies
fine.
are good for dog.
Very healthy.
Quickly tell us 5 veggies which are very good for dogs. 5 veggies. You want to write it. Yeah.
Pumpkin,
Pumpkin.
carrots,
Okay.
baby spinach, beetroot, and I covered 4, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there are plenty. Okay, and sweet potato.
These are very good for them. You can put it inside anything like making for chicken or make it for eggs.
You can. In fact, I just finished making an entire list of, I think, 192 foods
Okay.
that pets can have.
Oh, amazing. Release it as a Dodo will be the happiest person.
So from legumes to millets to different kinds of fats and carbs, everything. I mean, it took me about 5 days to get that list ready, because it was a lot of intensive research as well. I wanted to make sure
That it's correct.
it's correct,
yeah.
and obviously I needed the nutritional values. So
It's
a
going
lot
well.
of digging happening there.
So what is neuropathic method? What is
It's
that?
naturopathy.
Okay.
So naturopathy is nothing but a natural way of healing, a natural remedies of healing.
Okay.
So if you're looking at Ayurveda, you're looking at a massage therapy, you're looking at chakra therapy, Reiki, acupressure, homeopathy, nutrition, all these come under naturopathy science. So it's nothing but a natural way of healing.
So if someone say you that my dog is absolutely fine, he's not going through any trauma, any health issues, anything, still he can go for this holistic thing?
Of course, why not? I mean, a massage won't hurt a dog,
Okay, it will
right?
soothe.
Nutrition will only make his immunity better than what it is, right? Chakra therapies will only strengthen his meridians and his energy centers. So it's not going to harm. If it doesn't do anything, it's not also going to harm. That's the beauty of natural remedies.
So
But
if-
I would say when one is using essential oils and plants, that needs to be carefully done. Because at the end of the day, herbs are also medicines. So that you can't just randomly pick it up from the market and give. You need to know what kind of grade the essential oil is, whether your pet likes it, whether your pet agrees with it, because essential oils sometimes tend to give respiratory irritation.
But I have heard that many of these candles we like to light up like nowadays for the fragrance and all, and these are not good for her.
So I'll give you a very simple way of making this. Okay, something for our viewers.
Let's off leash?
Okay,
Okay.
so take an orange, right? Cut it into half.
Okay.
All right? And we need the orange to sit. So just slice off a little of the base
Okay.
of the rind, the outer cover. So it just sits, right? Put in your cloves.
Okay.
Long.
All are natural ingredients. Yeah.
Put cloves, about 10, 12, right? The other half, you put your long stick, put the other half so that it becomes like a cute, a tower kind of thing, and put a candle on that. What is it going to do? Give you the same fragrance.
And it works like same.
And it's clean. It's an orange. It's clove. It's clean.
Wow. So put it down. See, I told you before the episode starting, it's going to be a very informative episode. So, Shameen, tell me one thing. How are pet parents, by their own, if they wanted to, grow their pet naturally?
Well, the first thing is look into the nutrition. Look at what you're feeding, right? Look at signs that your pet is giving you. Also, be mindful of when you're going on walks. I see a lot of pet parents, unfortunately, on the mobile.
Oh,
You don't know what
Gadget-free.
your pet is sniffing. You don't know what your pet is slyly taking in the mouth. And then you end up, you come back and something has gone wrong. Skin is having issues, right? Rolling in the grass. Because right now, especially in this season, right, they put a lot of pesticides.
yeah.
They put a lot
If
of
they leak.
diatomaceous earth powder. You need to be really mindful of where you're walking, what your pet is doing, and come home and clean up. So these are very little things. Taking care of the food, watching what you put in. You are what you eat, right? So mindful parenting is nothing but making sure you give the best. You give them good nutrition. You give them undisturbed sleep. This is where a lot of households with children especially have this
play.
issue where the dogs don't have enough sleep. When the dog is sleeping, you keep your kids away. Period. Your kid needs to know your dog's boundaries and you set your dog's boundaries because you will not like it if your dog starts setting the boundaries for himself. That's when then you say, oh, my kid got bitten, my kid got scratched, when you did not intervene. Your dog wanted to sleep.
Already not been disciplined about that. You can do this, you cannot do this, this is not good. Yeah, absolutely.
Like puppies need about 16 to 18 hours of sleep, undisturbed. Adult dogs need about 14 to 16 hours of sleep. And then the elderly dogs also need about 14 to 16 hours of sleep. If the dog is not going to sleep, he's going to be irritable, he's going to be snappy, he's going to be bitey, and then it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So sleep is one where they heal. That is why sleep is very important, because physically, mentally, they are actually healing themselves. And you need that healing to happen on a daily basis.
And it seems like human also. No, what doctors also say, you need a proper sleep. Do not break your sleep cycle. So it same goes for them also. Sleep is very important. But you have seen sometime, I have seen doing it Dodo for many time. I do not know you have seen for Pluto or not. When they sleep, they are into like, we got that alarm that, yeah, he's into deep sleep. Starting like...
Yeah. When they dream.
A dream, right. So before I used to go like, I thought that maybe he's getting some like getting scared or something kind of. I used to put hand and like pet him, that don't do. But suddenly then I have seen somewhere they're telling that when they are doing this, do not do all these things.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Never, your dog dreams.
Yeah.
Pets dream. Never touch your dog because it's like when we are dreaming and someone puts their hand. It's scary,
Okay.
right? We also wake up very stunned.
Like, yeah.
What happens with dogs is their first thing is flight or fright, right? They might just bite by mistake. They don't mean to, but you've just scared them. So all you can do is from far, just shh, it's okay, just loudly. They just get up, look at you and like, okay.
Okay. Go to sleep.
I don't touch Pluto. He dreams a lot.
He do?
He dreams a lot. He runs in his dream.
Yeah.
He fights in his dream because I can hear him growl. I
Yeah.
can hear him whine.
Yeah.
And it's there since he was a puppy. Even right now he does that.
Yeah.
We don't bother. If it's getting too much, I'll be like, Pluto, it's okay. And then he wakes up with Pluto. I'm like, oh, okay. I was
Okay, I'm
dreaming.
safe.
But I will never go close to him, never touch him, because you don't know how they will react. They're in the REM sleep. So it's
I
not...
used to do it. Then I realized that stop being Kasturi. Don't be a melodrama mommy. Come practical and think practically. And I stopped doing that. I used to go pet and all those kind of a drama. Then now it's get clear that it's not right, because they get scared. Even for a human also, suddenly we are sleeping into the deep and suddenly someone touch.
Exactly.
We will also get scared. We will not like it. Yeah, absolutely got your every point. Few very frequent asked questions we have with us.
Okay.
And you will be the best person to answer it.
I hope I do it to my best.
Yeah, I am sure you will. So it starts with like 5 common pet parenting mistake which you encountered till now.
Feeding your food, feeding table scraps, but too much, right? If you're having roti and chapati, a small piece here and there is fine. Not one whole chapati, right? You're feeding things that are snacky for humans. They have little spices. You can't give that. You just can't give anything and everything that you eat, right? Your dog will come begging because he doesn't know any better, but you do. So there are certain foods is a complete no.
And that's not good habit also.
It's not. In fact, when pet parents tell me, oh, I feed him everything, I said, try feeding him chocolate. No, he'll die. I said, exactly. You're anyways killing him softly with all that you're feeding. If you want to feed cookies that you eat, feed him chocolate as well. Feed him everything that is a no for him. If you don't want it, stop feeding everything. Certain things are meant, certain things are not meant for them, period. Even your dog needs to know, this is not for me.
They need to learn also, yeah.
It's very important to know what to feed, how much to feed. It's not fair to them because weight gain happens unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And people do not realize this. The main thing about weight gain is when your fur baby, God forbid, ever has to go through surgery, anesthesia in humans or pets is given based on your weight. It's calculated based on your weight. The more weight, the more anesthesia. The more time you take to come out of anesthesia. And in
That's
the medical
dangerous.
world, the surgery is not as critical as the anesthesia given to anyone, humans or pets. Because anesthesia lowers your heart rate, lowers your brain activity. It can trigger some unpredictable issues during the surgery. So the surgery might be very minor. Because this happened to Pluto. I mean, if it can happen to Pluto, who is an ideal weight, right? Because our body is unpredictable. He had to go through, his neutering and everything. For a minute, it seems, his heart rate went extremely low. And they had to wait. Anesthesia will do that. So imagine if your child is overweight.
It's
with
so difficult.
so much of anesthesia. You have to keep the weight in check.
And you will laugh in this, but recently I have read an article. It is, I'm not sure, it is in US or in UK, kind of. A lady got arrested because of overfeeding her dog. Because he became a Labrador maybe. He becomes so fat, like stretchers came and pulling him up, and she got arrested.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I would say
Overfeeding, yeah. Like maybe she is onto like in love or something kind of. But either way, if you think it's you are killing your baby in your own hand.
absolutely. So, I mean, I would say feeding nonsense.
It's better than stick to something which is healthier.
Yeah. Also, when you are feeding treats, be mindful of how much treats to be feeding, You can't overfeed. Your treats should be 10% of your daily food intake of your pet. Right? So you have to minus that 10% if you're going to give treats. Also, a lot of pet parents give bones that are not...
Yeah, rawhides. Oh, God.
Yep, rawhides. There are far better options.
Leather.
There are far better options.
Yes.
Also, dental sticks.
That is actually not a dent, because my brother-in-law is a dentist, and the human dentist and the animal dentist, same process. I bought it from a website. I thought it. I didn't knew it. I bought it, that stick for the dental care and the oral care. He come and he checked, and that, what is this? This is a shit you are going to give to Dodo. Do not give this. This is nothing, just making fool.
Because it has sugars.
Yeah.
right? So dental sticks, give Himalayan yachu, give deer antler, right? Give beef ribs, right? Worst case, give raw chicken feet, give raw chicken leg.
Oh, that's full of calcium also.
Full of calcium, very good for cleaning their teeth. If you don't want to give raw,
Brush.
fine. You have so many options in pet shops today. So your Himalayan yachu is there, your beef tendons are there, your beef trachea is there. They're all single ingredient natural chews. And why not? They're a source of vitamins, they're a source of calcium, they're a source of a mineral. They're far better than dental sticks.
One disclaimer I wanted to give. Beef we are using as we live in an Islamic country, and beef is very common over here. So not for other states or other countries who do not believe in that. This is only for Islamic countries, and this is only for who have them, not for everyone. Not generalize it, please. Yeah, Shamin.
Thank you.
So,
It's very important because
Yeah.
a lot of places don't have beef.
Yeah.
But this is one thing, we have it over here. We don't have deers, but deers are very common back in European countries.
Yeah.
So you will feed what is available in your country, but just make sure they are natural ingredient, single ingredient natural treats.
Yeah.
So they are very important. No dental sticks, no raw hides. So that's there.
And oral care is also very, very, very important for them, because that is the only part from where they leak, they eat, the foods get stuck over there, and many things that maybe the bones, many things can happen. The tongues need to be cleared, everything put inside from there on.
In fact, oral health is the first thing where gut issues start.
Yes.
Right, so
Yes.
oral has to be taken care of. Also, the other thing what I would say is take care of the skin, even topically. Make sure you always check the skin.
You mean the skin or the coat?
The coat and the skin.
Okay.
The skin especially, because when you have a long coated like golden retrievers, huskies, what's
German
happening
Shepherd.
under the skin, usually you don't see it.
Yeah.
So make sure that on a regular basis, at least once a week, you kind of move the fur and check the skin for any redness or anything, flakiness. You can catch it early. They don't have to go through antibiotics and, these steroids and all that stuff because you've caught it early.
Yeah.
Also, when they come back from a walk, make sure their paws are clean. Make sure you
Absolutely.
again check the body for fleas and ticks, because especially when they go into grass area, that is where in humid conditions you will tend to have ticks and fleas. So a body check is
It's
one of
very
the
important.
primary things that you should do with your
Exactly. Because this is the one reason parvo has spreaded like anything over here. You remember the time when everywhere the alert was red alarming everywhere, every park, the parvo is getting sprayed. This is the one of the main reason for spreading parvo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very important to keep, it's like when your child comes back from playing in a garden.
You clean
he
it.
goes for a wash, right?
Same,
You cannot wash your
same.
dog every time.
Yeah.
But make sure you check him up.
And always, therefore, this is the reason we tell to all pet parents or coming to be if you wanted to adopt a pet or buy a pet, research, because it's all a lifetime commitment.
Absolutely.
One of our guests came, very, very Dog Ventures, Sam came, and he
Right.
said very particular and very period thing that your lifestyle will not lead your dog. You don't have time and therefore you will not take care of dog, then do not take dog.
Absolutely.
And this is a very good statement that lifestyle matters a lot. So commitment is there. You have to take care just like a baby, but for babies you need to take care for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. For dogs, entire life. So think before you bring them home.
Absolutely. It is it is a commitment 24/7
Yeah.
for the next 15, 16 years.
At least.
Minimum.
Minimum. Yeah.
And if you cannot give that commitment,
Do not bring.
don't.
Don't do.
Just don't.
Because there are many things you can enjoy with. Go play, party, do anything. Like if you want to utilize your money, go give it to the shelter. Give it to go to the shelter. You wanted to play for 1 hour, 2 hour, as per your office, as per your jobs. Go to the shelter, play. There are many pet me areas are there. Now cafes are coming, pet me cafes. Go there, enjoy there, and come back home, relax. Next day you go to office, you go with your friends, party, travel. It's not necessary that you have to buy a dog.
Of course.
You have to bring a dog, because you have to imagine this is a dog. You can buy it, you can put it into your home, and this will not grow up. But if you think you bring a dog, leaving dog like this, and it will remain like this, no.
Absolutely.
It will grow up. Your responsibility will grow up.
Absolutely. I mean, in my home, Pluto's food is cooked first.
Absolutely.
I may cook our dinner and lunch later on in the day, but not his. I cannot manage not doing his thing. He always comes
Not
first.
possible.
Because at the end of the day, they cannot do things on their own. They cannot speak.
Yeah.
And they are
Dependent on us.
They are
Anything
absolutely
we
dependent.
do, wrong, right, anything we do, they do not know.
Absolutely.
So the entire pressure is on us.
Of course.
We are the guilty if they are going wrong.
Of course. There are no bad dogs.
No.
There are
Yeah.
only bad owners.
Owners, absolutely.
It works the same way with the health as well. Right? They maybe have been played a bad card in genetics. But that doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. Right? You can change the epigenome. You can change those genetics. Maybe if his spine is genetically not straight, you can't do much about it. But at least you can ensure that you give him more support in his bones and joints and muscle by feeding him the right nutritious food, right? That can support the spine.
That's the only thing we can do it. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. Okay, the next question is very interesting. One ingredient every pet diet should include.
I would say turmeric.
That's a natural remedy.
It's a natural remedy. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's an antifungal. It helps reduce inflammation of any kind. It is very good for bone and joint health as well. Anything happening in the body, turmeric will kind of take care of it, right?
Antiseptic.
So it's antiseptic as well. So lots and lots of benefits.
So it's good.
It's good. But there's always a thing in nutrition. So if a dog has pancreatitis, that dog cannot be given
Okay.
turmeric. So otherwise, any normal dog, turmeric is great. But a pinch of turmeric in food,
I think anything is limited.
anything is limited.
Very good.
Very good. Limited. Just keep everything limited.
Yeah.
Keep your hand less in everything.
Exactly. Make the spoon little.
Yeah.
Small one.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
I always say start with a pinch.
Yeah.
End up with a teaspoon.
A teaspoon,
Because
yeah.
people say tablespoon as well. I'm
Oh,
like
no.
teaspoon.
Yes. So it's a good. And also for entire family, that what Shamin said, that the paw cleaning and takes and everything. I also believe in DIY things. I keep researching, keep doing. You also know me that we are kind of that what else we can do, what else better. So very home based, very basic with the coconut and all these things. I have made a short video for that.
Yes, I've seen it.
So it's very simple. You can apply either every day, if you don't have time for every day, at least once a week, so that your pet will get a good fragrance, of course, no ticks, no allergies, dry skin.
Absolutely.
And you will be keeping away all these things. So it's very easy and very pocket friendly. Go and check it out. This is a very interesting question. Why does my dog eat grass? It's a very interesting question.
Yeah, a lot of things are at play. Okay. Dogs sometimes eat grass because there is some deficient which is not fulfilled through nutrition, right? Also, in the animal kingdom, there is something that animals do which is called zoopharmacognosy.
Okay.
Which
What
is
is this?
self-medicating.
Ah.
So, I mean, chimpanzees and other animals in the wild, when
Natural
they are hurt,
instinct.
they will naturally go hunt for certain herbs and plants and leaves to eat or to chew and then apply on themselves to heal. So sometimes dogs do it on that basis, but this is not the grass that will cure them. Sometimes they want to throw up, they're not being able to throw up, and their stomach is upset, so they tend to have these leaves and grass just so that it activates the gut to throw up.
Most of the time we know that only that when they are feeling like to throw it up, they eat grass.
Yes, but you could avoid because you can ensure that the gut is healthy. Then your dog won't do it, right? I know this because as a puppy, Pluto used to do this a lot when he was only on kibble.
Okay.
He doesn't do it anymore at all.
No, his
So-
gut is good now.
Gut is, touch wood, very healthy. So he really doesn't. In case if his gut is not fine, we come to know.
When if he that's the sign maybe.
Yeah.
If he eats, that means
Yeah.
something is disturbing
Yeah,
him.
he'll have
That's a signal.
flatulence. He will not eat. So sometimes he might have, a loose stool. So I immediately change up his diet. I make sure the prebiotics, probiotics, and then, fibers get in to change the consistency and to bind the gut. And then he goes back onto his normal diet.
Makes sense. Okay. Wet food or dry food?
Commercially,
Something I know.
all right. I will
beep.
say this. In every product, there are great products, there are good products, and then there are not so good products. Whether you talk about dry food or wet food, there are great products, but you should be willing to spend. They are expensive because of what
They are good.
right? There are certain dry foods that are actually dehydrated.
Okay.
They're not extruded, which is the process of taking away all the nutrients. They are dehydrated, so they do have 90 to 98% of the nutrients there.
Okay.
But that, a 2 kg bag is as expensive as a 12 kg bag, right?
Yeah.
So you do have, I'm not saying all dry food is bad or all wet food is bad. You should be willing to spend, and you should know how to decode the pet labels. You should learn how to understand what does that label mean? What does the ingredient mean?
Yeah. And with this, I wanted to add, make sure every pet parents make a habit that you have a storage for their food. Do not pull it from that packet only, because many of them have that zip one, that zip it up and okay, no. Because you also need to know, because all are coming from a storage thing. They are not like 1 month old thing. Come on, we all know that that's coming from a storage. So you need to see deep down what's going on inside. So if you have a habit of putting it in the jar, then you can see it. Like there should be a container for this. Okay. Rice versus roti, which is better?
Again, I would not say this is better or that's better. I'd rather give you nutritional tips on how to feed this.
Okay. Yeah.
That's much better, right?
That's much better.
If you're giving rice, I would suggest give brown rice.
Okay.
Not every day. Maybe twice a week. You have other options than rice. Give oats, give quinoa, right? In terms of roti, you want to give wheat, once a week is okay. Better options are barley, oat flour, right? Other flours that you can use. So
Not like wheat kind of thing.
Not
Or
all the
many of them
time.
have wheat allergies also.
ragi is very good. The red millet is very good. So change up. Everything. The name of the game over here is changing it up. The more you change up, the more you rotate, the more you give it in moderation. Your dog will enjoy every meal time. You won't have to worry about intolerances in the next 3 months, 6 months going down the line. And they will have a variety. The gut will get used to a variety. The gut will be able to manage itself and thrive because every millet has nutritional value of a different kind. Every rice has different nutritional. So you are actually giving him everything that his body needs.
So, with this, as we are talking about the foods, does the bowl of where we are putting the food or the water is matters?
It does. Bowls do matter because at the end of the day, like even in us, we prefer cooking in stainless steel, right? Our foods. Similarly, when you're giving them plastic bowls,
It's not good. Absolutely not.
it's not good because obviously a lot of times those are not cleaned properly. They do not disinfect themselves properly. I would suggest, I personally use stainless steel bowls.
Yeah, I do.
They do not rust. They do not. Also, what
Easy
happens
to
when
clean it up, yeah.
and something like turmeric that tends to eat into plastic. That will not happen with stainless steel, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes stainless steel plastic bowls get stained with food, and the stain
Easily
color
you
doesn't
can
go
see.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
eaten up into
That
the plastic.
oily coat,
Exactly.
it will not go.
So when you want clean bowls without the biofilm, stainless steel is your best option. You can actually come to that level where your cleaning gives you a squeaky clean biofilm clean bowl.
And ceramide and all this are also, but it's risky maybe.
They are great. I would say they're risky in terms of because they can break and hurt. You know, sometimes they tend to, the bowl tends to,
Because,
topple
yeah, most of the-
over.
yeah.
Or sometimes
It's very
some
fragile.
dogs love to hold their bowl in the mouth and run.
Yeah.
That's the only
It's a
thing.
very fragile thing.
It's a fragile thing. Nothing else.
Nothing. Okay. And this is very important that measuring your dog food precisely is very crucial for their health. Is it?
Yes, because that is where you ensure you're not overfeeding or underfeeding. Because in dogs or cats, you need to feed them based on their ideal weight, right? So they have something called RER, they have an MER, which needs to be calculated properly. So there is a lot of math involved. Dog nutrition, I would say, is a complete amalgamation of biology, chemistry, and a whole lot of math.
Man, you have to calculate.
A lot of things.
Yeah, I got that cup where is actually the portions has been written, like numbering has been
Yes,
given.
numbering a cup
and
with
it's
number is
very
great.
important. Like,
but then
100
how do
gram.
you know, according to your pet's ideal body weight,
We have holistic pets.
how much?
We
Oh,
have.
yeah. I take the math out of your life because I do it for you.
And this is not a brand promotion. And this is in a fun way two mothers are talking.
Oh, believe me, I found it difficult to calculate first.
Yeah, of course. Me too. I got that weight machine also because when, Dodo is not well and that stomach upset, I got that weight machine and to put it over there. It's so difficult. And I bought that cup only. That proper weight
Yeah.
has been given. Yeah.
So, I mean, what also happens is that, especially in fresh food, you don't have cups. So, you need to know how much of meat goes in, how much of fats can go in. So, there's a lot of
Portion.
Yep. Because when we do meal planning for a specific pet, it's very, very specific to that pet's weight. If you have 4 dogs and I give you a meal plan for one, you can't apply it to all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
different dog, different portion.
even if you have 3 Goldens, the weights will differ. So you can't give the same thing, right? Because either one will be underweight or one will be overweight. So every dog differs because every dog's body condition score is different. Every dog's size is different. The weight will be different. So calculations are very important.
Very important. Very crucial part. This is very poopy question. I can spell it now. Why do dogs eat their own or other animal poops?
Yeah. Again, it's similar to grass. Sometimes they are deficient because what we eat is what we poop. Correct? So whatever additional nutrients that get out of the body, Some dogs who are deficient will kind of find that while they're sniffing and they will eat that.
And this tend to be seen, most of the puppies do this more, no?
See, puppies also do it because they're exploring. But if adult dog starts doing that, see, puppies will explore everything because that's the only way they explore, with their mouth. And I mean, they will lick the dirt as well. They'll lick the mud.
Yeah.
They will lick anything because that's how they see the world, right? But if the puppy is doing it again and again, or an adult dog has suddenly started doing it again and again, you need to check for deficiencies then. You need to check what's not going inside your dog's system that he's lacking.
Amazing. Why spiritual healing for a dog is so important, and we will wrap it after this. Very important.
Dogs and animals in general are sentient beings because all their four paws are always on the ground. They are extremely grounded and connected with the earth energy. So for them, it's very important to be spiritually happy as well. So when we do work like chakra therapies, Reiki, chakra light therapy, crystals, it affects them faster than it would affect humans. Right? So because they're sentient beings, to keep their spirituality intact is one very, very mindful way of parenting. Because at the end of the day, they have a soul too. And it's very important when I say, Holistic Pet says, raise your pets mindfully, right? It clearly says physical, mental, emotional, and spiritually, you need to ensure that you're nurturing your pet in all possible ways.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Shamin. All the details are so much important. How do you like to come back and Let's Off Leash again and sharing all this journey?
As I said, it's always amazing. I think this is the only platform that caters to animal welfare on this level. It's bold. I love it that it's bold. It's very to the point. I think all the guests that have come here before me, after me, I always see everyone, it's talking very boldly, it's raw, right? No one minces their words because our main goal is only one thing: welfare of animals and giving them a voice.
Correct.
You and your team are absolutely stunning. You're doing a job that is not easy. I'm sure you get a lot of slack on social media.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But that's part and parcel of being the voice, right? Sometimes I always believe in one thing, that if you're walking the path of righteousness, you will find yourself alone.
Absolutely.
But that's a part and parcel of being right.
Yeah.
So keep walking, keep standing tall, even if it means you're alone. Because when you're alone, it means others are threatened, intimidated, and you're on the right path.
Oh my God, you stole my heart. Thank you so much, Shamin. Before we wrap it up, come near. I'll tell you few foods you will not give to your dog, okay? Very secret. Come here first before Shamin scold me. Okay, fatafat. You want to write it down? Okay, avocado, garlic, chocolate, nut, yeast, raisins, grapes, caffeine, leek and onions, alcohol. Shh. No, don't make the drink. Salt, citrus oil, dairy, cat food, bacon, tobacco, nutmeg, peaches, mustard, fat firming. Did you write it? Thank you. We will see you again with someone really, really, really intelligent, expert, and determined that we will change the society with cruelty-free world and awareness. Anything you wanted to know more than this, what's world's going through about animals, come to Instagram page of Let's Off Leash. Let's Off Leash LOL News is always ready to update you. Please share when you see someone is asking for adoption or when someone is asking for help. Helping is very good in our welfare society. Community build up like this when we come closer and help each other, empowering pet parents and encouraging cruelty-free life. We are closing with Shamin, wrapping up with Kasturi. See you again. Bye.